was genuinely disturbed by Trump's reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. Isn't this your friend? They asked him about it the day after, and he said, yeah, anyway, so we're building the new East Wing. Are you serious? You got shot. This is your 31-year-old friend who supported you for years. You know him by name. Your son is friends with him. It doesn't seem like he could be bothered. He didn't go to the memorial. He's golfing. He's dancing at a sports outing. Shame on all of the Trump shills for not calling this out. They will praise anything. The Department of War, the Gulf of America. Where is the leadership? Where's the messaging? Where's the information? Where is the whole of government effort to get to the bottom of this? Keep the American public apprised, deter future attacks, and to ensure that this will not happen again.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while back. As you see, there's a lot going on in the government right now. A lot going on in the world. We already know about the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. All right, I'm not here to give my opinion on it. I've done shorts on it already, but I am here to show you what other people are saying about it in regards to Trump's reaction. And Nick Fuentes is one of them. Now, the thing that gets me with Nick is I'm kind of confused by him because his reaction when Donald Trump was actually elected, he was ecstatic. He was ecstatic, all right? And ever since Donald Trump been in office, he's been very, very critical of Donald Trump, which is nothing wrong with that. You should be able to be critical of the politicians that you put in office because you put them in office for a certain reason. And if they're not carrying that out and you have a platform, I say, hey, so be it. So I'm not mad at him for that. But if you don't know the video that he's talking about when Donald Trump was asked about Charlie Kirk, I'm going to play it for you right now.
We know my condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Now, if you didn't hear what he said, he asked him about the death of Charlie Kirk and the memorial and everything that was happening on and how he was dealing with it. And he flat out, in a snap of a second, switched the conversation. It was like he didn't care. That pissed Nick Fuentes off to the max. And I understand. Me, I have no feeling towards Charlie Kirk. You already know what if you've been watching my channel for a while, some of my day ones, you know my political view standpoint. I am someone who thought they were Republican, went over to the Democratic Party and realized, hey, both of these parties messed up, but I definitely not going over there because they're racist. And let's just leave it at that, okay? But that pissed Nick Fuentes off, and he has been talking about this for the last few days, and it did not just stop there.
And to me, that is especially interesting because wasn't the whole conceit of the MAGA movement of the Trump election in 16, 20, and 24, this was supposed to be a remedy for that problem? What does it say about the Trump administration? That we are in the second Trump administration after his third election, 10 years into his political career, and people do not have the slightest inclination to trust the government, even on a matter like this, when a close personal friend and political ally of the president himself and many members of his government and a key lieutenant in his movement is dead. Still, nobody trusts the FBI. So you have to leave it to the podcasters. You have to leave it to Candace Owens, Michael Savage, Alex Jones, Ian Carroll, Nick Fuentes, Dave Smith.
Alex Jones?
To go through the evidence. And that's why I think, like I said on Thursday, people like me have a responsibility to tell you the truth. And not only to tell you my opinion, but to rigorously interrogate all the facts, all the angles, give you all the information, the preponderance of the evidence, and I will give you my sense, but I'll leave it to you to draw your own conclusions.
Well, my conclusion is you missed me with Alex Jones, okay? Alex Jones has been a conspiracy theorist throughout, since I can remember, right? I'm 40 years old, and since I could remember, Alex Jones has been nothing but a conspiracy theorist. That's why he's been sued, he's lost, he's owed millions, been in bankruptcy, and he still does the same thing to this day. However, these people, a dead clock is right twice a day. What Nick Fuentes just said is truthful. No one trusts the FBI. No one can really even trust the government. And they are leaving it up, which is sad. They are leaving it up to podcasters for factual information, and especially podcasters that have major platforms, because they have researchable teams to be able to do research, and they can get the facts out faster than the actual media can, because the media are going to be pushed by agendas. Now, these podcasters can have agendas as well, especially if you have someone like Nick Fuentes, who is a Trump supporter, but yet he has a separate group of his own, which we'll get into on another video, which is why he's under fire. That has something to do with Charlie Kirk's death. That's a whole another video. But right here, a dead clock is right twice a day. Now, Nick Fuentes did not stop there.
Now, if the youth are being lost, this poses an existential problem to Israel. And if in particular, the youth in the right wing of America becomes indifferent to Israel, then they are truly alone. They have lost China, Russia, the whole Muslim world, Europe, Africa, Latin America. Who do they got? It's just us. And what is America's support conditioned upon? The Republican constituency in America. If we're up to the Democrats, we wouldn't support Israel. If it was up to the Zoomers, we wouldn't support Israel. It's Republican boomers that are keeping it together. Without America, they are alone. And without the boomers, they don't have America. So they need the young people in America. They need the right wing in America. Do you think that's why Netanyahu offered Charlie Kirk $150 million to support Israel? Do you think that's why it mattered to them so much? Netanyahu was going to open the floodgates, according to these reports, and unleash $150 million of Israel-controlled money that would probably come from America. It wouldn't come from the Israeli treasury. It wouldn't come from their finance ministry. Netanyahu would order it, and it would be Jewish American billionaires that actually dispense the cash.
Damn it. This was not on my bingo card, all right? Can we finish 2025? I never thought I would agree with Nick Fuentes so much, all right? And it's crazy because, again, he's a Trump supporter. But he knows, just like most people, the United States does not support the war with Israel, all right? And what's happening in Gaza. Most of us agreed we should not be funding this. But they know it's going to continue to get funded as long as the right wing is strong. Now, the whole $150 million with Charlie Kirk, that could be a conspiracy theory. Nothing has been confirmed with that. I've seen reports saying that happened. I've seen reports that say it didn't happen. We will never know. You know why? Because Charlie Kirk is not here to defend himself and say if it is or not. Now, Candace Owens has spoke on that and said they did give him some money and he refused to talk about things, and he refused not to talk about things, which was getting him backlash from the group of people that gave him money, which that's a whole nother video. But I'm so confused with Nick Fuentes, because this tells me if he knew this all along, why would you be pushing an agenda for Donald Trump or the far right? Now, he has his own group of people. I can't pronounce the name correctly that he started. He did another video talking about how he has an army of people, a whole new group of politics. And that's I'm going to do another video this week regarding that. I think it's called Gropers or something like that. And they're saying that Charlie Kirk's suspected shooter was a part of that group. So he wasn't far right, he wasn't far left. He was so far on the spectrum between the two that he was just a lunatic, right? And that's what I honestly believe, all right? Because I don't want to get into how you can date a trans person and be right because you're raised in a MAGA family, but you're part of this group who they don't care about you being trans or anything either, but they consider themselves far right as well. They're confused. These people are mentally confused. So that is a whole nother video in its entirety. But let me know your thoughts in your comments. Do you think Nick Fuentes has a point? Is he right? Has the far right lost its goal, its focus, its way? Has Trump turned on the people? Is he not following through with the things he said he's going to follow through? And in my opinion, if he ran on the economy, he's failing at that. If he ran on groceries and gas, he's failing on that. Although gas will go down soon. And it's not going to be because of any kind of policy. It's not going to be because of drill, baby, drill, which I'm in the fuel industry. I make shorts about it all the time. You can go to my economic playlist. I'll tell you why. Winter is coming. It'll go down, and it'll be right back up come spring. But that happens every year. But is he right? Let me know in the comments, man. I'll see y'all next video.